Welcome to Delta Green, God's Teeth, brought to you by Black Project Gaming. Get read in at blackprojectgaming.com. I'm Vince, your host and handler for this campaign. Joining me are Cami as FBI Special Agent Sarah Hart, Doug as Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Gerrald Swenson, Jack as Special Agent Adrian Selivanov with the FBI's Computer Analysis Response Team, and Sonia as Dr. Leah Caron with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. God's Teeth is a campaign of unthinkable horrors, written by Caleb Stokes for Delta Green, the role-playing game. For more information on Delta Green, please visit delta-green.com. Music in these episodes is brought to you by Cryo Chamber and Epidemic Sound. This podcast contains depictions of and allusions to violence against both children and animals, as well as unnatural horror, graphic violence, and adult language. As a result, it is intended solely for mature audiences. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Dear listeners, please be warned that this session contains especially graphic depictions of violence committed both by and against animals. Be warned and take care of yourselves accordingly. It is now Tuesday, the 30th of August, 2016. After successfully completing your cornucopia house cover-up and providing your final report to Anthony Pizzarelli, your case officer for Working Group MASTICATE, you all were sent your separate ways for 2 days to get some rest, relaxation, recuperation in before you would begin your hunt in earnest for Carrie Houghton's murderers, specifically Elle Gable, Samuel Ball, and an as-of-yet unidentified John Doe, all of whom are survivors from Cornucopia House. You have a couple leads, specifically Franklin Price, the previous social worker who preceded Carrie Houghton in servicing Cornucopia House, and what he was supposed to be doing was auditing and monitoring it, but of course fell under the sway of Elena Calamantiano. You also have the King Torino Children's Refuge in Charlotte, North Carolina, where, based on your research and your findings from the adoption records that you were able to get unsealed through the falsified warrant that Adrian cooked up, the vast majority of Cornucopia House survivors went, and where you would be most likely to find the most material documenting their treatment and what may have happened to them in the intervening years. But before we get there, we have some home scenes to play out. Everyone will have one home scene and one personal pursuit to engage in during these next 2 days. So we'll start with you, Adrian. What are you up to in these next 2 days?
Definitely going to head back to Richmond. It has obviously been a lot for him to take in. I'm trying to decide if he lives by himself or with anybody else. The cost of living isn't super intense in Richmond, but I think that he's a little bit utilitarian. In his spare time, he's just sort of still on his computer. Like, he's not out hiking and pursuing things outside of, the digital space. So I think I'm going to give him a roommate, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
But I think that he doesn't really, maybe their schedules aren't aligned, and even with everything that's happened, when he comes back to Richmond, he's just sort of cloisters himself off away from anybody and is just doing his best to avoid responsibility. And I guess my second question is, given his relationship now with the organization, what is his professional relationship like now? Is he still working the same way in the same hours that he was at the Bureau, or is he sort of taken off of that?
If you were looking at a more prolonged period of downtime from Delta Green, say that this operation in its entirety was wrapped up and you were just waiting for the next call, you would go back to your normal day-to-day job, doing your normal, routine functions as a computer analysis response team member. But for this specifically, you're essentially still detailed to Pizzarelli and his working group, his task force. So no one in your day-to-day job at the Richmond field office is coming looking for you, because as far as they're concerned, you're still detailed out to him and to the Department of Justice in Baltimore. So you don't have to worry about any of that.
What would I do to try and gain back sanity?
You can go back to nature. It's extended time alone. It's essentially you spend time in seclusion, minimizing stress, distractions, and obligations in an environment that's physically active and places few other demands on you, so like camping, hikes.
Yeah, now he's like white as a sheet.
You could go to therapy. You could pursue a motivation.
Yeah, I don't think either of those really fit him.
Let's take a look at your motivations.
He has none currently.
Off the top of your head, what would you say a motivation of his be? So I'll give you a category. These are the categories: achievement, understanding, principle, protection, relationships, opposition, or solace.
I think he wants some solace.
So in those, you've got a beloved pet, a favorite academic pursuit, a favorite art form, a favorite bad habit, a favorite hobby, finding true meaning, home, sports, intimacy, anything for a sense of control.
Yeah, I mean, obviously his favorite hobby is gaming. So he would be doing a lot of that in the downtime.
Maybe, spending some time with Rooster Legs, maybe a gaming group you're a part of.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that he and Micah, or Rooster Legs, his e-girlfriend, they sort of communicate via gaming. Like, they don't really... She might try to, like, coax him into being a bit more open, but I think that his way of sort of communicating is through co-op. That's the relationship he sort of sees it as. That's the lens he views it through.
So in that case, go ahead and make a sanity test.
36 out of 73.
Go ahead and add 1 sanity.
Rolling it, yeah.
So there is a bond cost associated with pursuing a personal motivation as you let other bonds lapse. So in this case, because Rooster Legs is indeed one of your bonds, I would say that cost of 1 would need to come from either your mother or your father.
Okay, sounds good.
Now, something happens during these 2 days. While you are resting, recuperating as much as you can, probably gaming late into the night, sleeping in late, waking up late in the morning. It's on that first night, that night of Tuesday the 30th, that you are disturbed from sleep by a particularly disturbing dream. You can't recall the details, and you can't recall the specific imagery, but you can't shake the sensation that it leaves you with. A broken child who finds and inspires other broken children, silent children, awakening them to a vengeful god of death. You can't recall any details of that child itself, except for its teeth, sharp and bloody. And with that, unless there's anything else we wanted to do during that time?
No, but I'll say that I take the hit to my bond with my mother, Anya. I grew up a bit of a mama's boy, and so there was always sort of an open line of communication between her and Adrian. But I think in the aftermath of all of this, he is, just sort of neglected to call in and check in with her, and has been ignoring her calls.
And there is a litany of missed calls that you inevitably find on your cell phone, some mixed text messages. Your mother's never been much of a texter, so that's how you know the desperation must be pretty intense for her to be trying to get a hold of you via text. But those calls and those texts apparently go unanswered. We'll move on to Gerrald, to Bear Swenson.
Yeah. So I was thinking for Bear, probably what he's going to do is right after this is all over, he's going to drive to Virginia, basically Washington, D.C. suburbs, where his wife still lives and has their house. And he's probably going to get there like during the day when she's still at work. And so he will let himself into the house because he still has the key and probably be waiting there when she gets there. I was thinking for my home pursuit. So I don't know if this would be applicable because it's not necessarily going to a therapist to talk about, what he's seen and done for Delta Green, but probably some kind of couples therapy where he and Cheryl would work out the fact that, once again, he's had a major time where he lied to her about where he was and what he was doing. I mean, that's although things were not going well for them before, that's kind of brought things to the head. And I would just say, as a heads up, I don't see as a player how Bear gets out of this with his marriage intact, having done this now more than once. And I don't know if I had made it explicit before, but he's been caught lying about Delta Green work in the past also.
Sure. The bond with Cheryl, your wife, is still relatively intact. It is definitely on the downgrade.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm saying I don't necessarily see divorce as removing the bond, but yeah.
I get what you're saying. Okay. And there's definitely frustration on Cheryl's part, seeing you back here in the house, technically uninvited, even though you still have a key, not expecting you to be back. After the fiasco of trying to explain your absence previously, there is definitely some frustration that comes to a boil. She actually says that she herself has been going to therapy to work on herself, figure out what she wants and what she needs as both a woman and as a wife. And in fact, has a therapy session scheduled for Wednesday. And the therapist has requested, depending on your availability, to attend one of those sessions. So to meet the intent of wanting a couples therapy session, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With the roles that are involved and with the possible benefits, typically with going to therapy, it's only a benefit to your sanity. But because this is essentially a joint personal pursuit where Cheryl is involved very deeply in this, I will say whatever sanity points, if you are successful, whatever sanity points you recover, you can add that much to your bond with Cheryl, depending on how it goes.
Okay.
Now, I'm presuming with the therapist, you are not going to be telling them the truth about anything.
So my plan was to say that there's something big that I'm involved in that I can't talk about, but it's government business, which is kind of the truth.
It is, yeah.
I think it's close enough to the truth to qualify. Delta Green it's not a known, but it's not like we're the Cowboys. There are people in government probably who can get read into Delta Green, but only at the highest levels, right? If that. And the president doesn't know about Delta Green, probably.
Nope, the president has not been read in since Bush.
Which Bush?
The first one.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yep. Now, go ahead and make a luck roll, which is a straight 50-50 roll. So just a D100, and if it's under 50 or meets 50, you're good to go.
Oh, that's a 98.
Shit.
Yeah.
So, that's a failure. There's no sanity gain. There's no bond gain. And during this therapy session, of course, the therapist is encouraging you to open up to Cheryl. And at one point, a lot of this frustration that Cheryl has pent up comes boiling out. And she says, Bear, I know what you do is important. I've never doubted that for a second, but I thought the whole point of you taking this job at Glencoe, at Fletsy, at being a firearms instructor was so you wouldn't have to do this anymore. And next thing I know, you're calling me, telling me you're on a case, you're on another big operation, another big investigation. You can't tell me what, you can't tell me where, you can't tell me when, you can't tell me how, and I'm left just wondering what more lies you're feeding me to keep me in the dark. And it's I don't feel respected. I don't feel trusted.
Do you know that what I do is important? I mean, do you really?
Bear, I always have.
Well, sometimes it doesn't fucking seem so. I mean, you're out there with your fucking job and the lawyering and shit like that, and Everybody you see every day looks up to you.
Bear, I look up to you. The kids look up to you.
Oh, maybe Tiffany does. I don't know about little Jerry.
What can I do to remind you that I know what you do is important? I just want to know what you're doing. And I know there's more you can tell me. There has to be more that you can tell me. I mean, you're not like with the CIA or something, for Christ's sake. You're a firearms instructor.
Look, you don't know about upset, baby. It's complicated. It's just better if I don't say anything. But look, you asked what you can do. Fuck, I don't know. It's just, ever since we've been married, you fucking wear the pants in this family. I know that's an outdated saying. That's not how it goes anymore, but fuck. I mean...
Well, Bear, maybe it's because I can't trust you to put your fucking belt on right.
Well, there it is. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't respect me. You only care about your fucking DC friends and your cases and... When's the last time you've come down to visit me?
There's a realization there that maybe, despite her best wishes and her best intentions, that you may have a point. And the tears that have been welling behind her eyes are let loose, and she reaches over and grabs a handful of tissues from the box on the coffee table between you and the therapist and chokes out, I can't do this, and storms out.
Look, Doc, aren't you gonna stop her? She can't do that, right?
As productive as this may have been, I do believe it is time that we bring this session to a close, Mr. Swenson, and I thank you for coming.
Fuck me.
And we will leave Bear there. Sarah, what's your plan for these next 2 days?
I think her plan was to stay in the area, so she's not flying back to Alaska just because there would be no point for the amount of time that she's going to be there. So I think she is going to work on a motivation, which is essentially going to be like shutting off her brain from this horrific nightmare and instead focusing on the missing persons cases that she consults with. Something that she feels like she could actually help resolve, have a little bit more control over. So yeah, she's just going to stay at the hotel and work on that.
Love that. Okay. This is kind of a variation on stay on the case. But yeah, you know what? Instead of just simply pursuing a personal motivation, I will file this under a stay on the case pursuit, which has a little bit more of a sanity gain to it potentially. So go ahead and make a criminology roll.
Damn, 93.
Yeah, 93 out of 71. You are reviewing a case that your consultations are countrywide, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a nonprofit kind of thing I imagine she works for, where with her expertise, if she can offer any kind of help, she can.
So we'll say you do consultations for the Center for the Missing Child, which is exactly like you described, a nonprofit that focuses on missing and exploited children. And there's a particular case that they are working in Mississippi where it is abundantly clear, based on interviews that have been done and indications you see in the results of the interviews themselves, that someone in the family is likely responsible. Unfortunately, there's a lack of physical evidence, even circumstantial evidence, to tie any one family member into this disappearance. But you know, you've seen the writing on the wall. You have dealt with cases like this in the past, and there is no doubt in your mind that somebody close to this child is responsible, but it's never what you know, it's what you can prove. And the echoes you see in this case rebound over and over again in your conscious and your subconscious, and you keep finding yourself pulled back to what it is you're currently doing, what you're currently working on, what you've witnessed, and what you have no doubt you will witness in the future. And that the cycle of violence, the cycle of neglect, is not unique to Cornucopia House. It's not unique to El Gable. It's not unique to any of these other survivors. It is a massive maw at the center of this country that chews up, digests children, and spits out the bones to be forgotten. And you just find yourself lost in your recollections, and you're reminiscing about 2001, about that first night there, about what you were asked to do and how you were drawn back into it 15 years later.
Yeah, I think there's a part of her that almost, for like this case that she's consulting on, for a brief moment, she tries to connect it to the Cornucopia kids. Not like consciously trying to see if there's a connection, but like almost subconsciously trying to associate this horrific thing that's very mundane and happens to the more of an unnatural source, kind of wishing that there could be some big unexplained conspiracy reason why something bad like this happens, which of course, you know, it's not connected at all and it's completely mundane. It's a tragedy. But yeah, since she failed, I think she just keeps trying to make those, like you said, she's remembering those cases and she's trying to relate them, even though objectively she knows that there is no possible way that they are related, but she just can't kind of get that. She can't get her brain out of that pathway quite yet.
Makes sense. And finally, Dr. Leah Caron, what's your plan for these next 2 days?
It is only 2 days, so I think unfortunately she can't explain where she's been or why she's been away to her husband. So she's going to be taking a hit to probably his bond to try to get back to nature, or like just try to get some sanity back, just try to find some more inner peace just before the next rumble that's going to happen.
Yeah, easy enough. I mean, between Maryland and Georgia, you know, there's lots of mountains to get lost in, lots of hiking trails to just disappear in for a few hours, campsites, whatever way it manifests for you and for Dr. Caron. So go ahead and make a sand test. 46 out of 65. So reduce your bond with your husband by 1.
All right.
And then roll 1d4.
Well, of course. 1 is better than nothing.
1 is better than nothing. So go ahead and add that to your sanity.
Done.
What does this time alone look like?
I think what it is Leah basically just trying to get away from people, trying to get away from what horrors she saw and remembers, and how not futile, but like, because technically she's made a difference, but it's not the difference I think she wishes she had made. And it feels like to her at this moment, people are kind of the root cause of all of the evils that have happened to her and happened to others.
Not wrong.
So she is basically avoiding all human contact. She has gone deep into the woods, kept a charger on her phone, but her phone's like on silent and not taking any calls or texts or phone calls or anything like that. She's not going with the news. She has basically found the most isolated place she can and is just sitting there with her thoughts.
Love it.
Before she does that, she will kind of ask Pizzarelli about firearms permit from Maryland, because things are going to get spicy and she knows it.
Yeah, let's play that out. So we'll say, now that you're not operating under any kind of cover, since that was, essentially removed once you all finished your Cornucopia House investigation and cover up, and that was really the only thing where the program was obviously concerned about your true names being linked to.
Did we never actually figured out how our names got to that one lady in the Florida, did we?
That is one of your remaining leads.
Yeah. Okay.
You're easily able to get a hold of Pizzarelli. Yeah, Dr. Caron, what can I do for you?
I don't know how much you're able to help with this, but I know where we're going. We're likely going to need firearms and guns, and I'm not sure exactly how to go about getting more permits for places where we might need to be heading to. Or at least get them quick enough, because we're going to go soon.
Okay. You're in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
You already have a concealed carry permit there?
Yes.
Okay. Let me pull some strings. Let me see. Yeah, Maryland won't recognize a Georgia permit. Yeah, let me see what strings I can pull. I can probably get you a response in a day or two, but we'll fast track something.
All right, appreciate it. Out of character, what about Florida? If we're going to go to Florida?
You are fine.
And that's what I thought.
Well, you have a Georgia permit and you're fine there. And most of the states that you may or may not end up going to are considered constitutional carry. So yeah, you're fine. They don't fucking care.
I had to ask. All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I will overnight something to you as soon as I can get my hands on it. Are you heading back to Maryland in a couple days?
Yeah.
Have you all decided where you're meeting back up? Same hotel? Because I think it's where Sarah stayed behind.
Yeah, I mean, before everyone left, Sarah was probably like, hey, I'm staying here, so just come back when you're back.
Okay. Yeah, Pizzarelli says, yeah, no worries. I will, I'll overnight something to the hotel you all were staying at outside of Zion.
Understood. I'll look for it there. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day. And Leah will hang up at that point.
Okay. So, we'll open with you, Bear, I'm assuming you're going to be driving back to Maryland?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not far from where you're currently at. So this is Thursday, September 1st, the day you all are due to reconvene at your previously acquired lodging just outside of Zion, Maryland. You wake up early, I'm assuming, Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Probably didn't sleep well the night before. Too much is rattling around in your nugget.
Yeah.
But when you come downstairs and begin kind of pulling yourself together, getting everything together for what's to follow, you notice that there is a manila folder on the kitchen counter with your name written on it.
I'll go and open it up.
It is a petition for separation filed by Gerrald.
I guess she left it before leaving for work, probably.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, Gerrald never asked you to leave, never kicked you out, but of course made it abundantly clear that you would stay in one of the guest rooms. Based on the context, yeah, you can assume that she left that for you before she left for the day.
I think Bear's gonna grab his phone and he's gonna call her.
There is no answer.
She probably had these ready a long time ago. Fucking bitch. She just wants to throw it all away.
Based on the filing date on the papers, it was when you were in Maryland.
All right, well, god damn it. I gotta go get to Maryland. I'll deal with this later.
And with that, Bear, Adrian, and Leah roll a D100 for me. We'll see who gets there first.
45.
I'm going to go in ascending order, so we'll say you get there first, Leah gets there second, Adrian gets there last. Which tracks, because Adrian almost slept through your meeting with Pizzarelli. So yeah, it's not a very far drive for you, and if anything, the pent-up frustration and aggravation probably results in a little bit of a lead foot. But you get there first, and Sarah, from what you can tell, has kept the same accommodations as when you all were there a couple days previously.
So yeah, I knew we were meeting here. I probably, when I got here, I would text the group and I'd say, I'm at the hotel. Anybody else here yet?
Now here's a quick question. There is no right or wrong answer. This is just more for my edification as your handler. Are we using our personal cell phones for any of this, or have we potentially acquired burners for these communications? We can easily retcon and say that this was done before you all went your separate ways.
I would assume burners.
Yeah, I've always had a separate phone.
Okay.
The Bear would not have had a separate phone, but he sees the wisdom in that. So yeah.
And Leia, I'm guessing the same for you. It's probably what you called Pizzarelli on.
Yeah, exactly. A new one, obviously, that she got when she was home.
So yeah, we can easily say before you all kind of diverted at the end of your very unsettling interaction with forces unknown in the basement of that federal building knowing that you all would reconvene here eventually, you acquired burner phones and exchange numbers so you would know how to get a hold of everybody. So yeah. Bear, what do you text Sarah?
I think I would text everybody. I've arrived at the hotel. Is anybody else here yet?
Sarah would probably just put her room number in the chat.
All right, Bear will head there, knock on the door.
Yeah, she'll get up and let you in.
You ready for this?
Probably not. Welcome back.
Oh yeah, it's been a very restful couple days, man.
Well, I'd say there's the mini fridge, but might be a bit early for that.
I don't think it's ever too early for... Oh, no, maybe you're right.
There is coffee as an alternative if you want some.
Yeah, sure. Hey, what have you been up to these days? You been hanging out here? That's kind of sad, isn't it?
Maybe. It was only a couple days. Didn't feel like taking the 5-hour flight both ways back home, so.
Probably had a better time than I did.
Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, what's the fucking point? It's over. I think I've known it's been over for a long time. Anyway. So what does Pizzarelli want us to do anyway?
I mean, we've cleared our names, so now we're just trying to figure out where those kids went.
But I mean, what are we supposed to do? Like, kill them?
I don't think he used those words, but
Do we do that?
I mean, occasionally.
Yeah, that's not something I'm looking forward to doing again.
Well, if there's other ways to resolve it, keep your eye out for it, but at the end of the day, we got to put this to bed.
There's a flash in both of your minds at even proposing the possibility of a non-violent solution to this problem. And you can't shake the picture of El Gable holding Carrie Hoden's teeth up to the camera that she should have had no reason to know was there, and smiling.
I kind of get the feeling that whatever it is behind this, if it's Baba Yaga or something else, Shredni Vashtar, I think it wants violence. I think it needs it.
Yeah, maybe.
At this point, Leah, will say you arrive, and presuming you head straight up to Sarah's room, you can hear the muffled voices behind it and recognize the deep baritone murmurs of Bear's voice.
I think she just stops for a second, takes a breath, and then knocks on the door.
Yeah, Sarah will go open it.
Long time no see.
Welcome back. Come on in.
Thanks. Well, I hope you had a restful couple days.
Much as it could have been. How about you?
I went back home, but then I went right to the woods, basically. I couldn't be around people, you know?
Yeah, sounds nice.
Yeah. Pretty sure I pissed off my husband, but you know, I'll deal with that later. What are you up to, if I may ask?
Just some work, really.
Yeah, that's fair.
Of the normal variety, at least, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Your phone rings, Sarah.
Do I recognize the number?
Oh yeah, it's Pizzarelli.
I will stand up and take it. Hello?
Hey, it's Pizzarelli. You got everybody back together?
Just missing Adrian.
All right, look, we got a bolo hit for El Gable.
Where?
Charlotte Hall, Maryland. They local police picked up her print on a rock used to break into a McGarren Outdoor Outfitters, but it looks like she's in the area.
All right, we'll head that way first.
Didn't you guys say what's his name? Price. He was in that area?
Yeah, we were gonna head that way anyway. Should probably hurry. I don't know if he's a target.
Yeah, I think at this point we can probably assume that he is. So, yeah, get the team together, get equipped, and head over, see what's going on. At least touch base with him, make sure he's still breathing.
Will do.
And he'll hang up.
Yeah, she'll send a quick text to Adrian. Pretty much just letting him know that they're leaving soon. So if he's not there, I'll send you the address to where to meet us, kind of vibes.
Yeah, I think we can cut to see Adrian still in his car, and he isn't actually in the parking lot of the hotel. And what we don't know is that he's been there for quite some time, actually. He actually probably got there around the same time as Dr. Caron, maybe even saw her making her way inside. But he's just been sort of gripping the steering wheel, unable to, like, bring himself to fully come in. And then he sees the alert, the text come through on his phone, and his expression just sort of sinks, and he'll sigh to himself and take a big swig of his energy drink and kind of toss the empty can into the floor of the passenger side. And he will start to head in very hesitantly towards Sarah's room.
Yeah, I'll let everyone know what Pizzarelli said. So we need to get on the road soon.
Maybe even as he's getting out is when Sarah briefs the others, and they're like all heading out towards the parking lot. Maybe there's like that moment where they run into each other.
Oh, good. You're here.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. And you'd see him. He looks like he hasn't slept in days. He's already kind of like a pasty, noodly, scrawny white kid, but he looks even more pallid and even more tired, and like his hair is a little bit even more disheveled, and he's got like a little... He can't grow a full beard, but maybe he's got like a little bit of patchiness coming through here and there, like a 1 o'clock shadow. But yeah, he definitely looks like he's not in the kind of best shape right now.
Do you need a minute, or are you ready to roll?
No. I got your text. I'm here, you're here. We should probably get going, right?
Yep.
So Charlotte Hall is about 2 hours south of Zion, where you currently are. It's straight down I-95, almost on the Maryland Peninsula itself. So you got a little bit of a hike ahead of you, but you can be there in 2 hours, presuming you're heading straight for the Charlotte's Rest Veterans Home.
Yeah, and I think Sarah has a rented vehicle that she'll drive. I don't know if anyone else wants to drive as well, but yeah.
You also still have the vehicle that Pizzarelli would have lent you. So you got 2 cars if you want to take them. Or anybody's personal vehicles.
Adrian drove his car up from Richmond, so...
Yeah, Leah will probably hop in with Sarah.
You taking the Pizzarelli ride or the rental?
We'll take the Pizzarelli ride. Just because list documentation.
Yeah, I think Bear's probably gonna leave his car here. So as he's transferring his equipment over, you're gonna see he puts a Kevlar vest in the trunk and a shotgun with 3 boxes of shells.
And I'm guessing you're gonna go in the Pizzarelli ride as well?
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive my car, but I'm gonna ask Sarah, I know it's just like an old folks home or whatever, but do we need to be... He just like pats himself as if to like suggest like suit it up.
You should always be ready to defend yourself, son.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Yeah, okay. I'll be behind you guys then.
You got something?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
All right, cool.
I'm a federal agent, aren't I?
Yeah, no. Some people don't, travel with them. But this would be a good time to have one.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
All right.
Yeah, the Pizzarelli ride is just like a blacked out Ford Escort. It's not even an SUV. It's just a standard like bottom barrel sedan with government plates. Nothing particularly sexy or unique about it. They couldn't even pony up for the SUV. But I am curious what Adrian is driving.
Probably something cheap. Yeah, nothing, he's not flashy in that way.
Adrian strikes me as semi-responsible, so maybe like a paid off or close to being paid off older Honda Civic, something like that.
Sure, yeah. Maybe he bought it off his dad or something like that. Again, it's nothing flashy or anything like that.
Love it. So, you all roll out for that 2-hour drive south to Charlottes Hall, Maryland. Adrian, on your drive, since obviously you don't have the opportunity to kind of do any extracurricular work or anything since you are driving, what's going through Adrian's head?
He doesn't want to be here. He's doing that thing where he's sort of like easing up on the accelerator, like almost as if like wanting to slow down, like just come to a stop or something, just to like just make this end. He's following behind the others, but he would rather be anywhere else but here right now. And he's got this pit in his stomach, this sinking feeling that he can't shake. He doesn't feel good about being back and is expecting the worst.
Yeah, it gets to the point where you can barely see the back end of the escort up ahead as more and more distance is created between the two vehicles, and there's the occasional honk as a car comes up behind you and then aggressively passes, and then another riding that right lane, just hoping to delay the inevitable just a little bit longer. So we know what's going on with poor Adrian, tailing behind your standard government issue Ford Escort. What's going on, if anything, in the Pizzarelli ride? Any discussions to be had?
I don't think Sarah would initiate anything. I think she's on the opposite end of the spectrum as far as how she's approaching this, which is just get it over with as soon as possible. So she's like dialed in.
I think Leah may just be doing some quick research on the phone about the care facility in general, but otherwise she's not doing much.
I think Bear would say to the other two, I know we've just been trying to deal with this as we've been going, but what the fuck? Do we have a plan? I mean, we're going to track down this stuff, but what about Florida? That list.
Florida is definitely, I think, a destination we have to go to. I don't think we could probably do anything from here in Maryland, but we should probably take care of the things that are closest and then go to Florida.
If those kids are here and they're about to kill someone else, we need to intervene if possible.
All right. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Like, what the fuck are we gonna do?
What we can in the moment, Bear. It's none of us, I think, we're hoping to ever come back because of this.
Yeah.
And we know something else is manipulating us, or manipulating everything around us, or forcing us to act. It's not just the program, it's whatever answered our questions down in that basement.
Are any of you guys religious?
No.
I was raised in a church, but I don't really go to it that much as an adult.
Yeah, kind of the same. Cheryl didn't want to lay all that shit on the kids, and I don't know. I mean, growing up, I kind of decided that I didn't believe in stuff like that.
In a higher power or in the Christian version of God?
Definitely not the Catholic version of God. I don't think anybody wants kids to get hit on their knuckles, or maybe they do. Maybe God wants us to eat people?
No, there's something else going on with that. At least I think so. I don't know if it's God per se, but there's something out there. There's something out there.
I mean, that's kind of what got me thinking. If this shit is real, and at this point it's really hard to deny that it's not, then what else is real that I thought my whole life I knew what it was?
Hey, Bear. Make a sanity test for me.
All right. That's appropriate, I think. This is some heavy shit. It's a fumble with a 55 out of 48. Jeez.
Considering the nature of God and whether your God, the one you grew up with, and allude to in this conversation with Leah and Sarah, this revelation that Adrian had continues to just resonate in the back of your mind. And this deep-seated certainty that you can't place, that you can't attribute to anything in particular, begins to take root. And beyond a shadow of a doubt, you are convinced that this cosmic hunger that Adrian speculated on, it has intent. It's a nameless God, not one you know, and not one that's spoken about in any modern church, but it feeds on the processes of death and dissolution. It especially seeks as prey entities that have found ways to escape death. The nameless God chooses and manipulates servants as metaphysical proxies in its hunt. And for that, you lose 1 sanity, and you gain 1 to your unnatural skill.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think thinking about this, Bear would say, I mean, it's almost as if whatever this thing is, it's using us. I just don't know what it's using us for.
You believe in stuff like fate, destiny, that sort of thing, Bear?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I ever thought about it that much. I mean, if you mean fate, like some weird karma, like what comes around and goes around, I've seen too much shit to think that's true.
I mean, like free will. Are we here because of choices we made, or are we here because some cosmic entity of violence that we're only now just seeing a glimpse of has led us to this point?
When I was a sophomore, I had to take this philosophy class, and luckily the professor was like a fan of the football team. So I guess that's my way of saying I've heard of that, but I don't think I understand it.
I mean, it's not too academic. It's, at the end of the day, it's, are we in this car heading to where we're heading because all of us made a decision to get in this car and go? Or would we have been in this car regardless of whatever choice we made the past 15 years?
I mean, that sounds dumb, doesn't it? I mean, if we're not the ones making the decisions, what is life about anyway?
Does it matter?
Well, shit.
I don't know if I believe one way or the other. Just if your mind's starting to head down that road, maybe make an academic exercise of it rather than existential crisis. Might help.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I have any of the tools to do that, but I'll think about it.
I don't know, but my mind keeps going back to that, what happened in that basement.
Yeah. It wasn't something that we just made up or misinterpreted.
No. It all happened to us all at the same time. We're not the only agents. Are we hunting its others' agents?
You mean other agents working this case?
No. Elle had showed us those teeth. It was a challenge. And they were obviously working with whatever higher power brought us back into this whole situation. And the answer that Adrian had gotten, asking who John Doe was, who the last person was, they were a tooth. Remember how that child has shown us about Sredni Vashtar and how he had red thoughts and his teeth were white? The answer to the question that John Doe was a tooth who was hunting for it, whatever it is. Are they no longer teeth? Are they now prey? Are they now the prey we seek? I don't know.
They said the answers we need, we could find them with prey.
Yes.
Does that mean you think that's they mean John Doe?
The people who had killed Carrie.
Or do they mean Price?
That's what I assume. He's the prey in this moment.
Okay, I'm not sure anymore. I'm just thinking because it's pulling at multiple strings and pulling in different directions, and it all seems like it's random, but it's also on purpose, and I'm just struggling to understand. And I don't know if I want to understand or if it's just because my mind won't let go. So apologies for going down that rabbit hole.
Maybe this is something we can't understand.
I think that's a good way of looking at it.
Like whatever it is that is doing this is so fucked up that if we ever did understand it, that would mean that we're fucked up too.
Other people might call it enlightened, but yeah, I get what you mean.
You know, I saw this one video on YouTube. It was about the Japanese, and they had all these. They were talking about like these spirits, and you know, I mean, I usually think of Japanese people as really smart, right? And I was thinking, well, they're watching this, like, how can these people believe in these spirits and even have like temples to them and all that? I mean, they don't really believe that, do they? And yet some of them do. And my understanding from this video was that these spirits are like fucking, they're not like God. They're just like nature or even just like feelings like anger and rage and revenge.
Metaphysical beings?
Yeah. I mean, that's more like what this feels like. It's just like hunger.
Who's to say that's not what God, and she lifts one hand to do like the air quotes, is at the end of the day?
Well, then God's not what the priest told me he was.
I mean, we were told point blank that we do not understand his ways, and maybe we shouldn't, or else we'll go insane.
But also priests are only men.
Yeah, oh, of course, they're all in it for their own reasons.
Oh, 100%, yes.
But I think at the end of the day, saying that God is a hunger might not be off base. Maybe it's just what we've learned to call it. Yeah, I think she's definitely thinking of Father Alvarado in this moment, kind of being like, damn, we should have had this conversation 15 years ago.
With that, you all continue on your drive and inevitably arrive at the Charlotte's Rest Veterans Home in Charlotte's Hall. So you enter in through a large parking lot that adjoins the main complex. Based on what little research Dr. Caron did on her phone, you know the facility offers living apartments, a nursing home, and outbuildings used for family meals and musical guests. There are expansive courtyards that encourage spins in the wheelchair and quiet reading under shady trees. But as you pull into that parking lot, an ambulance sits, silently flashing underneath the covered awning to the side entrance. Two paramedics are loading a covered body into the back while a third man fills out paperwork on a clipboard. What do you do?
Our fake IDs were destroyed at the end of the last session, right, with everything?
They were. Do you want other cover identities?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do this. I will say that Pizzarelli did arrange for additional cover identities to be issued to you, separate from the ones that were issued for the Cornucopia House cover-up. That, again, he stresses, will not hold up under prolonged scrutiny by any member of law enforcement, the government at any level, really anyone. So the best way to use them is to flash them and don't give anyone a reason to dig any further. But he overnighted them to you at your hotel, Sarah, since you were still in the same place. For our federal agents, you are all given FBI credentials. For Leah, you are given an FBI consultant set of credentials. So no badge, no law enforcement powers to go with it, but as an official representative and employee of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Better than nothing.
So you pull up. What is the play with these false identities in hand? Because I'm nothing if not generous.
Yes.
Okay, my instinct, but you let me know if this is good FBI instinct or this is just me dumb instinct, is to approach this as like we were investigating a potentially related case, which would be Carrie Houghton if asked, but I don't know if that would cause them to want to look us up, or if like flashing the bag and saying like, hey, we were led here by an old associate and maybe it's related, that kind of vibe.
I think that is a perfectly viable way to approach this. Because you definitely have a murder victim with a clear link to this individual.
Okay, cool. Then that's the plan.
So we have the 2 paramedics that have now loaded the body into the back of the ambulance. And you have this 3rd individual in a white doctor's coat filling out a clipboard.
I'll approach them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Could you go around to the main entrance? I'm sorry you had to see this. And this is the individual in the lab coat.
Actually, I think we might have been here to talk with your gentleman, and I kind of nod toward the body while I flash my badge really quick and then say, an associate that he had worked with a long time ago also met a pretty grisly end, and we were coming to hope to question him. Do you mind if I ask what happened?
I'm sorry. I think there might be a misunderstanding. This was one of our female residents. She unfortunately died of a stroke. Who is it you're looking for?
Oh, Franklin Price. We are worried that someone might be coming to harm him. I just assumed.
Oh, Mr. Price? Really?
Yeah, some old cases that he worked on years ago. Someone's coming back with a grudge.
Okay, that's I'm Dr. Caulfield, by the way. Agent Adams, thank you. If you don't mind, I need to finish processing this. Could you wait for me at the nurse's station inside?
Yeah, of course. Please, and sorry to interrupt.
No, of course not.
Hi, Agent Johnson, and just sort of waves his little fake badge. What are you a doctor of?
I'm a medical doctor.
That's generally what doctors are. I mean, they work in medicine. What are you doing here?
I'm the director of this facility.
Got it.
Do you all head inside?
Yeah, I think so.
As we do, though, because I am paranoid, I'll sort of get next to Sarah and just say, is it me? Am I the problem here?
In what way?
You don't think he was a little suspicious? A little weird?
I mean, it was a little aggressive, demanding to know his specialty and his...
No, him. You don't think that him being here, in this facility, like, what is he doing this for?
He works here? You all right, Adrian?
No, it's fine. Yeah, okay, whatever.
She does like a double take at the doctor to be like, did I miss something or is Adrian losing it? But then files that away for later and goes inside.
The halls of the nursing home contain no sound, save for this soft, echoing music. The 1970s hit Muskrat Love wafts from the nurse's station at the intersection of the different wings. But Bear, this isn't any normal rendition of Muskrat Love. This is the live version from the 1980 performance on the Tony Tennille show, the one where Tony tells a story about Kissinger not enjoying the song.
So, is this from Captain and Tennille?
It is.
Okay.
You can try to make an N times 5 roll to see if you can remember how you know this.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I know the show, but I would never remember something like that. Hey, an 85 out of 40. That's a failure. No idea. It just comes to my mind. This was from the Captain Tennille show in the 80s. It was a live performance.
Yep.
Well, wait a second.
Muskrat.
It is the live performance. It's not the original recorded version.
Wow, that's a deep cut. That's just what Bear says to himself. You guys know what this is from?
No, it sounds like old people music.
Okay, yeah, it is. I was like a kid. I remember we used to always watch the Captain and Tennille show. He turns pointedly to Adrian and says, this was when TV shows came on, right? And that was your one chance to see the show, right? You couldn't even record it, which you probably don't even know what that is. If you missed the show, that's it. All your friends would be talking about it. And Captain and Tennille was pretty cool. I mean, everybody liked the skits and the songs. And somehow I remember this song, not just this song, this version of this song.
So since Bear is talking to Adrian and reminiscing, Leah and or Sarah, or both, make a search roll, please.
Cool. Lady's doing all the work again.
So Sarah with a 35 out of 84, Leah with a 68 out of 60. Sarah, the first thing you notice is that the nurse's station is unoccupied. But something quickly catches your eye. There's a small red stain on the carpet leaking from beneath the nurse's desk.
Like behind it or in front of it?
Behind it, but leaking out from underneath it.
I'm not gonna get in there where it's suspicious, but I am gonna kind of angle myself and peek and see if I can see anything.
You see a male nurse lying on the carpet beneath that desk. His throat freshly torn out.
Shit.
Warm blood dripping from the carotid artery.
I yell for a paramedic.
Bloody paw prints lead down the hall.
So Bear's still talking to Adrian. He's like, yeah, I mean, you get the thing about how, nowadays it's so different, right?
Get bandages. Leah's checking her pulse.
Holy shit.
The eyes are open and glassy and staring, and you feel no pulse. I need everyone viewing this body to make a sanity roll, please.
Shit.
That's a failure for me.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh.
Bear with a 63 out of 47, Adrian with a 55 out of 74, Sarah with a 14 out of 47, and Leah with a 2 out of 66. Bear, you lose 1 sanity from violence.
All right.
Now, one thing you do notice is a surveillance system monitoring station there at the nurse's desk. And of course, the paramedics hearing this call for a paramedic for bandages are now rushing down the hallway towards you. But you do notice the surveillance system there with monitors overseeing the different hallways in this facility.
Adrian's going to start following those paw prints. How big are they?
Small.
Muskrat size?
Considering you owned a cat at one point, Adrian, they're definitely not feline. They're more canine, but small canine.
A lapdog?
I'm going to break away from the others and start following tracks.
I would like to follow him as backup.
Does anybody say anything to the paramedics now?
We just saw the blood leaking. She's explaining the situation and just gets out of the way.
Yeah, and I'm kind of saying, being we need to clear this place immediately. No one in or out or something so that they're on high alert, but no one's rushing out the door.
Dr. Caulfield is in a panic. Jesus Christ, do we need to lock the facility down?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and he begins giving marching orders to what you assume to be orderlies and attendants over the radio, while the paramedics begin trying to render some form of first aid on this nurse behind the station. But we have Adrian going down the hallway towards the rooms. And a few of the doors are open, and some of the tenants are sticking their heads out, confused, some obviously disturbed by what's happening and by all of this sudden commotion. But one door in particular you notice is closed. The narrow window of the security glass has been covered with a bloody scarf. Light shines through where the thin fabric is not clotted with gore.
Adrian's going to call out to Sarah.
Yeah, I'm coming. I mean, she heads that way because she was heading that way already.
At that, I think Leah is going to follow instead of backing away from the scene of the paramedics. She's going to follow Sarah.
Bear, are you following as well?
Yeah, Bear, in reaction to seeing the dead body, instantly drew his gun, and he's now holding it kind of like in front of him with the muzzle towards the ceiling, but he looks around, kind of realizes that maybe this is a little bit aggressive, and starts to put it back, but starts walking down the hall towards where Adrian is.
Oddly enough, neither Dr. Caulfield nor the paramedics seem to be particularly disturbed by this. If anything, they seem to be maybe slightly reassured that individuals in position of authority and in law enforcement are here, thankfully, to see to the security of their residents. But they get out of your way. You all head down the hall, and you see this door with this bloody scarf draped over the security window.
As we're walking down the hall, Bear's just gonna like call out in a booming voice to the people who are like out of their rooms or at the edge of their rooms. Get back in your rooms, close the doors. This facility's on lockdown.
They immediately begin heading inside and shutting the doors behind them, hands shaking, eyes wide with fear, with panic, with confusion. But they do not resist and they comply.
All right. Yeah, Bear follows up to where Adrian is.
Yeah, I think with Sarah and Bear both having their guns drawn, I think they probably kind of naturally fall into like the kind of physical position where they're backing each other up and covering each other and like watching doors and hallways and stuff. So assuming that everything looks clear, she is going to go ahead and reach for the scarf to move it.
So the scarf is actually on the inside.
On the inside, I got you. Okay, so then she's going to look back at the others to let them know that she's about to open the door so that they can, be ready. And then she'll open the door.
The door is locked.
Break it open.
Yeah, Bear will say, stand back. And he's going to go for a foot plant first because he knows how bad you can screw up your shoulder.
Athletics or strength times 5, whichever is higher.
No! It's a 94 out of 75.
A 94 out of 75. Unfortunately, the door is holding fast. That electronic lock is holding steady beneath that thundering boom of delivering this massive foot right next to the jamb to try to break it free. It is budging, but only just, and not enough to get you access.
Is it locked from the inside or the outside?
The inside.
Is it a key card or like a...
It is a key card.
Yeah, there has to be an override at the nurse's station.
I mean, can we just... How far back is it? Can we just run back and be like, give me the key?
Sure, yeah.
I think Bear's just standing there just hammering away at the door while these guys go do that. He's not going to stop.
I'll allow you to make either an athletics roll or another strength times 5 roll, but with a negative 20.
All right. Strength. So with a negative 20. Oh, that's a success.
So with a 19 out of 75, with that 20 being a 39, you still succeed. Sarah, Leah, just as soon as you turn to begin running back towards Dr. Caulfield to try to get his key, you hear that thundering shatter of wood and metal as the door jamb is just completely broken free and that door shatters in.
Yeah, I moved to clear it for danger before we start heading in.
Bear, just as he breaks through the door, he just continues that motion through the door, draws his gun, and tries to not stand in the middle of the door, but maybe not the best move.
This is clockwork for you, Bear. This is not only what you do, this is what you train others to do. You know to clear that fatal funnel, to get through that doorway, to run your walls, to clear the center. And that's exactly what you do. You get inside that room, and the first thing you see as you begin moving out of that fatal funnel, you see El Gable poised over the form of Franklin Price, who is muttering to himself quietly, still alive, still breathing, not bleeding from what you can immediately tell. But there is El, kneeled over him, looking back towards you. On the ground next to her are a German Shepherd, a giant Schnauzer, and a gore-soaked standard poodle. She regards you all, frozen.
She's like over the top of this guy, right? Is she holding a weapon, did he say?
She is holding a knife.
Yeah, Bear's not going to take a chance. He's not going to like threaten her with a gun or anything. He's going to try and tackle her and get her off of this guy.
So you go for a tackle.
Yeah, just to get her away from this guy. Hopefully trying to control the knife as they go down or knock it out of her hands.
Okay, go ahead and roll unarmed.
All right. That's a 12 out of 80.
You plow into her, and this girl is small, emaciated, and cannot possibly hope to withstand the amount of weight flying at her. And you clear Franklin Price in his bed and take her to the ground. But immediately, those 3 dogs that were standing there, their hackles raised, snarling, leap into frenetic, bloody action. Now, Adrian, are you inside the room?
No, I'm still outside of the room, I think. I think, at least the way I'm seeing it, was Bear barreled in, and the rest of us, unless Leah and Sarah, you went inside. But I think Adrian's sort of just standing on the side of the door.
Sounds good. Since we are now in combat, we are now in Dex order. And so with that surprise round done, the dogs are up. So the German Shepherd goes for your leg, Bear, and goes to clamp down. Let's see what he does. But thankfully, the German Shepherd fails. It goes to rip into the back of your leg, to your calf, to any exposed flesh, muscle, limb it can possibly wrap its maw around. But you manage to kick your leg out in this struggle with L, and it is unable to find purchase. But there are 2 other dogs. Who else is in the room at this point, Sarah?
Yeah, I think she was following behind Bear, helping him clear the room, or was going to before they immediately saw Elle.
The Schnauzer, having lost sight of Elle and having lost sight of Bear, with the 2 of them having gone over the side of this bed, sees you immediately as the most immediate threat and goes to attack. So with a fumble, with a 33, the Schnauzer barrels past you and you manage to just sidestep just in time, and this animal goes careening into the hallway past you and collides with the far wall with this, what would have normally been a heart-wrenching yelp of pain as it collides with the structure. But the gore-soaked poodle is also up. And it takes a running leap at you, Sarah, and manages to latch onto your support arm that is gripping your gun and find purchase there. And it does 1 point of damage as its teeth sink into your flesh. With that, Adrian, you are up. You've got a Schnauzer in the hallway. You've got yipping, yelling, snarling, and screaming going on in the room behind you. And Bear, that's something that you just take notice of, is that Elle is screaming primally, ferally in your face, her eyes wide, her teeth bared. And all of this is now assailing your senses, Adrian, as you see the Schnauzer out in the hallway trying to shake off its very ungraceful attempt to attack Sarah.
Is this a frightened scream or is it an angry scream?
This is an angry, bloodthirsty scream. And there's something else you notice. There is a smell wafting from Elle. So far, because only you and Sarah are in the room, you are the only 2 that notice it. It triggers, and you just smell this rot, this unnatural stench just wafting off of her form. And it's nauseating, and it smells almost, to some extent, like freshly baked cookies.
Is this the similar to the smell that I experienced earlier, or?
It is a different variation. It is a different smell, but it is similar to the one that you smelled in that trailer all those years ago, and similar to what some of you smelled at the stew. It is a smell of unnatural source.
Mm-hmm.
So, Adrian, what do you do?
Man, he is in over his head here. I feel like he it's not sunk into him just yet, the threat that this Schnauzer poses to him, the fact that it's now in the hallway with him. So I think that he's going to try and... I'm tempted to roll like willpower to see if like I even have the will to like try and shoot this dog. It's such a bizarre thing for him to be experiencing right now.
Just make a power roll. A power times 5.
With a 52 out of 75. Yeah, I think that I gave him a decent power score because he's a child of the internet. He sees some shit. And I think that despite the fact that this is a once adorable dog, he's been raised in the edgelord corners of the internet. So I think that, yeah, he will try and fire.
Go ahead and make a firearms roll.
It's 19 out of 20.
Go ahead and roll damage.
8.
You didn't know you had this in you, but the body does crazy things when under the influence of previously unprecedented amounts of adrenaline, and you recall your training. You go into fight or flight mode and muscle memory kicks in. You bring that pistol to bear and you focus that front sight on that dog and you squeeze the trigger. And with accuracy you didn't even know you necessarily had, you watch as this Schnauzer's skull explodes as the hollow point 9mm round penetrates and scatters the contents of its head against that wall that it had just ran into, and it falls limp, dead on the ground.
Yeah, I think he's sort of like disassociated in that moment and like reverted back to his gaming training, you know, like viewing the enemy as this sort of thing that can just be shot at. And I think that the shot fires off, it hits, and then like he sort of comes back down to earth and sees the mess that's splattered against the wall, and he like starts shaking again.
Somewhere deep down, though, there's a part of you that registers that this is what winning must feel like. Now moving on. Sarah, you are up, and I need both you and Bear to make sanity tests, please. Oof.
Failure.
Yep, 94 out of 47. How about you, Bear?
Oh, that was a fumble.
55 out of 46. Bear, you've been smelling the smell in your melee with L. Sarah, you now pick up on it. And for both of you, you find yourself flashing back to that cabin at Cornucopia House, and you see the image of this decayed, rotting, multi-teated woman sitting in a rocking chair in a room filled with every manner of sacrilege and horror. And you can feel Babushka's crawling horror beginning to grip your minds. This smell, this influence, and now you realize it's not just coming off of Elle, but it is wafting off of Franklin Price. This is her. All these years later, this is Babushka's influence. But Sarah, you are up.
Okay, so it's on my left arm.
It is currently on your left arm, right, on your support arm.
Would me shooting at it be at disadvantage because it's so close and crazy, or would it be easier?
Nah, shit, that'd be easier. That's point blank.
Okay, yeah, then I will do that.
So go ahead and make a firearms roll because this is point blank with a plus 20 bonus.
Hell yeah.
With a 51 out of 60, go ahead and roll damage.
2.
With 2, you just very quickly, almost instinctually bring that pistol up and aim at this poodle's midsection, and you just jerk the trigger. You're not trying to aim. You're not trying to execute this thing because you don't want to hit your own appendage. You're just trying to get it off you, and you succeed. You strike it in the hindquarters, and with this series of yelps, it releases your arm and jerks away from you, but immediately turns back towards you with this bloodlust in its eye. Leah, you are up.
She shoots for the poodle.
Okay, go ahead and roll firearms.
Oh, that's not great.
With a 58 out of 44, you've never been under direct threat like this, not since Cornucopia House. And you fire wildly, and a bullet impacts the wall just over the poodle's shoulder, and it jerks and jumps slightly, but it is unharmed by your shot. Now, coming back to the top with L. L is pinned. L is going to try to escape, Bear. So your attack roll was pretty good. 12 out of 80. So we'll see what she manages. Yeah, with a 97 out of 55, Elle struggles against you, still screaming, her teeth gnashing, trying to actually take a bite out of your neck. She can't get the knife out to try to stab you. Her arms are currently held, but she is trying to use everything else at her disposal, including her mouth, her meth-rotted teeth, trying to rip into the flesh and the artery underneath your skin, but unable to do so. You are up.
All right, so Bear is going to attempt to transition into a back mount and go for an arm bar. So I'm trying to control the arm that has the knife in it. I'm just going to go for an arm bar, hoping to hyperextend the elbow, making her drop the knife.
Sounds good. Go ahead and roll unarmed.
32 out of 80.
She is still pinned, and you manage to transition into that back mount, and you manage to trap and control that arm. And with a strength that you're not sure how she possesses, she maintains control. Her knuckles are white, gripping this blade. She does not release it, but she begins screaming still, but the tone transitions to one of maybe pain.
Okay.
You gonna try to break her arm?
Yeah.
She resists far too much, and you go to hyperextend, and with this titanic display of strength, you just jerk, and the arm snaps, and those fingers spasm open and release, and the knife clatters to the ground. Adrian, you are up.
I guess my first instinct is to look down the hallway. Do I see anything going on? Anyone coming? Anyone going?
No. In fact, you see the doctor taking cover behind that nurse's station. The paramedics appear to have vacated the hallway, and you see no one else. You see now every door in that hallway closed. You hear muffled shouts and in some cases screams from behind the various closed doors in this hallway, likely resulting from fear.
Does it look like Dr. Caron is getting attacked by one of the dogs, or?
Dr. Caron, now just inside the door, doesn't look like she's being directly attacked, but you do see the two dogs inside.
Okay, and they're obviously aggressive.
Yeah, the poodle's maw is stained by this dark red blood, and the German Shepherd, while not similarly marked, its teeth are bared, saliva is dropping from its mouth.
And that's the one that's been shot by Sarah?
It was the poodle.
Oh, okay. I guess the poodle would be closer since it was attacking Sarah. I'm gonna try attacking it as well, shooting it.
Go ahead and roll firearms.
Failure.
With a 36 out of 20. Yeah, that round impacts the tile beneath you all, sending up a spray of material and dust, and misses its target. Sarah, the poodle goes to grab onto you again and fails miserably with an 88 out of 30. I'll give you an immediate attack on this thing.
Yeah, I'll take it. Is it point blank again? It's right next to me, or is it?
I'll say it's so close, yeah, might as well be at a plus 20.
Okay.
So with a 43 out of 60, you do hit it. Go ahead and roll 1d10 damage.
8.
You instinctually, like almost as a reflex, maybe not quite out of practiced training, but more out of simply seeing this thing rushing at you and coming in for another attack, you just jerk that trigger and you catch the poodle almost mid-leap in the midsection of its chest, and with another yelp, it drops to the ground motionless, dead. But that leaves the German Shepherd, and with Sarah essentially in between the door, with Adrian kind of there, with Leah just on the other side, it sees you as the most immediate threat, especially having just watched you kill this poodle. And so it's gonna come at you. Okay, so that was a success. Let's see what it does. The German Shepherd, it doesn't have quite the running room or the maneuverability to try to leap towards your face, your throat. So instead it goes for your legs, and it manages to clamp down around your ankle and inflict 1 point of damage, as you can feel blood begin rushing out from beneath your pants, your jeans, whatever it is you happen to be wearing, beginning to pool down into your shoe.
Okay.
But with that, you are now up again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll shoot this guy now.
Yeah, so with a 46 out of 60, you manage to land a shot. Go ahead and roll your 1d10.
Just 2.
Yep, you inflict 2 points of damage on this thing. The bullet manages to rip into it, grazing it just slightly, not completely striking and penetrating. It is hurt, but it is not letting go of your leg.
Yeah, okay.
Elle is now, her arm broken, restrained by Bear, just screaming wildly. Can't do much from her position. So Bear, what do you do with her?
I mean, I think feeling her feral, supernatural strength almost, he's probably just going to hang on to this just to keep control, because letting go of this is going to give her an opportunity to escape that he doesn't want to. So I guess I'm pinning here?
There's something else, though.
Oh.
Go ahead and make another sanity test for me.
Okay. Playing with fire here. Oh, that's a failure. 81.
This smell that you know has no physical origin, that is coming from somewhere or something else. It is assailing your nostrils, your senses. You feel your gourd rising, but also you're overpowered by this sensation that you have this prey in your arms. You need to tear into her neck with your teeth. You need to feed. You need to destroy. You need to consume, and you need to do it now. It is an almost painful compulsion. You can feel your gourd rising. You can feel the goose flesh on your arms. You can feel an almost painful sensation. And you know the only way to alleviate that is to tear and to rip and to eat and to consume and to end.
All right. I mean, is that something I can avoid?
Go ahead and make a power times 5 roll.
Power times 5. Okay. Nope. That's a failure.
You are going to tear and rip and consume.
I don't even know what is that just an unarmed combat roll?
Yep.
Damn. Okay. Oh!
With a critical success, Bear. With a 1 out of 80. You lose control of yourself. You know what is being asked of you, and you know what must be done. You sink your teeth into the flesh of her neck, and you grip, and you bite down, and you clamp, and you tear. You jerk your head to the side, and the screams suddenly fall silent, becoming little more than wet, agonized gurgles, as there is a spray of arterial blood that splashes the wall behind you, your face, your clothing, Franklin Price, and you can feel that lifeblood begin to seep out of her. That warm blood filling your mouth, running down the back of your throat, and you feel satiated. You feel satisfied. You feel complete.
Holy hell.
How much sand do you think you should lose for that?
Oh, geez. Yeah, I mean...
Killing a murderous enemy in cold blood is worth 1d6. Torturing a victim is 1d8. Let's do a 1d8, because I think with... Yes, you are killing a murderous enemy. Yes, it is in cold blood, but there is also an unnatural compulsion behind it. Let's go with 1d8.
Okay. Here we go. I almost certainly am going to break because of this. Yep.
You lose 5.
I lose 5. That's going to put me at 41, which is 3 below my breaking point.
Now, you would also go temporarily insane because it is a loss of 5. You do have the option to project.
Yeah. I think at the top of my mind now is my relationship with Cheryl.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm going to project onto Cheryl.
With projecting onto a bond, go ahead and roll 1d4.
Ah, that's a 4.
So you lose only 1 sanity, reduce your willpower by 4, and reduce your bond with Gerrald by 4.
Okay.
Now, we have the German Shepherd left who took a shot, but is also clamped around Sarah's ankle and is going to go for the thigh. It is going to go to find more meatier purchase with its mouth, but fails to do so. It has now released you in an attempt to seize that thigh, that upper thigh, but you have another opportunity to shoot and end this, Sarah.
Yeah, doing that.
Go ahead and roll firearms.
Can I get right up in its face, get the 20 bonus?
Yes. Beautiful. With a 7 out of 60, you do 3 damage. The bullet, once again, hits its intended target, but somehow, although limping and whining and yelping, this German Shepherd is still locked in and still up and still standing. So, that brings us to Adrian.
So here's a real question. Where was Bear in view of all of this? Could we see him? Or is he, hidden behind the bed?
I would say from where you are, because you're kind of still somewhat outside the doorway, not quite inside, you've been kind of having to maneuver around Sarah's form there and the dogs to get these shots off. You don't see what exactly happens, but you do see the sudden spray of arterial blood from behind the bed.
Yeah. So then, if that's the case, I won't shoot Bear yet, but I will try and shoot at the remaining dog.
Okay, go ahead and make a firearms roll. No bonus because you're not at point blank technically, but go ahead.
89.
With that 89 out of 20, yeah, you take that shot and once again it misses. There's just too much going on. You're processing too much. You're in sensory overload at this point. You can hear this ringing in your ears. You know you're beginning to suffer from auditory exclusion. You know that your vision is beginning to narrow in on what's immediately in front of you. And you can feel the loss of fine motor skills in your fingers and your hands. You can feel the effects of those adrenaline beginning to kick in and take over. And unfortunately, that shot does not hit. But Leah, you are up.
Did she see what Bear did?
Nobody would have.
But she heard her stop screaming.
You have realized that the screaming has stopped and turned into this strangled gurgle, and you have seen this bright red that you know as a medical doctor only comes from a severed, broken, destroyed artery.
Yeah, she's diving over the bed to get at Bear and Elle to try to see what the hell's going on.
I'm going to make you make an athletics roll. You kind of have to maneuver past Sarah, maneuver past the dogs, clear that doorway, get over that bed. So there's a little bit going on. So go ahead and make an athletics roll or a dex times 5 roll, whichever's higher.
The dex, but not by much.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, no.
68 out of 50, yeah. You don't take any damage or anything. It wasn't a fumble, but when you go to try to mount over that bed and see what's going on, you feel your knee buckle slightly. You don't get enough clearance to get over it. And so you're kind of perched over this bed now. You've got Franklin Price still there, eyes staring sightlessly at the ceiling above him, muttering to himself. Finally, even with your ears ringing from the sounds of these gunshots, you can make out what he's saying. Smells like cookies. Smells like cookies. Over and over again.
Oh boy.
And now that you're fully in the room, go ahead and make a sand test for me.
Oh no.
You too remember Babushka, Yelena Kalamatiano. You remember what she became, and you remember what she did to Bobby Gleekman. And you remember Bobby's muffled, strangled cries from beneath her writhing mass as she carried him out into the night, only to dissolve into that impossible substance that corroded into the very earth itself. And you smell that wafting not only from behind the bed, from wherever Bear and Elle are, but from off of Franklin Price himself.
Oh shit.
He looks at you. The first time he recognizes and sees anyone. And he looks at you directly. And in this rasping voice, he says, "She's one of the quiet children."
Oh shit.
Now, We'll go in standard dex order this time, since Bear is no longer locked in a grapple with L. Adrian, you are up, sir.
Now that I'm coming into the room, I guess I'm just going to try and get this dog down. That's sort of my sole purpose right now.
With Leah out of the way, you've got a little more clearance, so you manage to maneuver past Sarah and kind of take up almost like an L-shaped position to her side, and you sight in on this remaining German Shepherd. Go ahead and make a firearms roll.
Nope.
With a 95 out of 20, still not a fumble, so you're good. Even despite being shot fucking twice, and no doubt in an agonizing amount of pain, this animal is unnaturally locked in on you all and remaining upright. Actually, you and Sarah, make alertness tests for me.
96 out of 40.
Sarah, with a 76 out of 87. You notice something. The gurgling has grown quieter. In fact, it's come to a halt. And Bear, holding L, you feel that last breath leave her, and her body grow still. That blood cease pumping, even though you can still taste it and smell that sweet, coppery scent on you, in you, around you. But her life has ended. And almost in that exact moment, Sarah, you look at this German Shepherd, and you all of a sudden see a change come across it. That bloodlust, that hunger in its eyes fades. And it begins looking around, confused, yelping, biting and nipping at these wounds in its flank. And it runs out of the room into the hallway past you all and begins breathing shallowly, as it is no doubt dying and bleeding out, looking for some semblance of solace, of rescue, like a normal dog.
Can I actually go sit with it?
You can.
I think she recognizes that it was tied to L, and just remembering how these animals helped them, years ago, like feels compelled to offer it some kindness in its last moments, even though it bit her. Like, her brain isn't even comprehending what's going on with Bear and L. She's just solely focused on this dog for whatever reason right now, and yeah, she's gonna go sit with it.
As you go sit with it, Adrian, recognizing, like seeing the dog flee and then seeing you just wordlessly follow it, he's going to look past and watch you go, but he's going to turn towards the bed and the other side of it, seeing the splatter of blood, and he's going to, still gun drawn, approach and see.
I think as you look over the bed, you see Bear there with L kind of like underneath him, and the mouth at his throat, and he just tears away, and he looks up and he says, "I am not fucking prey, Cheryl. I'm not fucking prey."
What are you doing?
I think Bear just looks at you. The look in his eyes is dead, unrecognizing.
I feel like this is a sanity test for me.
Okay. What's going to happen if you fail?
I'm going to shoot him.
Doug, how do we feel about that?
Okay.
Leah, what are you doing in this moment?
She was going to bodily shove Bear aside to see if she can try to salvage anything from Al, see if she can try to get her back.
Bear, do you resist being pushed away?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's even registering with him.
Okay.
But I think he does see that gun, and he recognizes what it represents. It's another predator.
With a 94 out of 74. Adrian, what do you want to do?
Well, how much sand do I lose?
We'll see what you do with this loss.
If you're okay with it, Doug, I'm going to shoot.
Yeah, go ahead.
64 out of 20. Failure.
Adrian, would it be out of the question to assume that maybe Adrian's hands are maybe a bit shaky right now?
Absolutely, yeah.
With the shakes and with that adrenaline beginning to dump out of your body, and you begin feeling that energy seep and fade, you feel weaker, you feel tired, you feel like you're coming down off of something, and you jerk that trigger, and the bullet passes just past Bear's ear and slams through the window, sending up a shower of glass as the security glass is broken and shattered and splintered by that shot. Leah, you reach down before this even happens to check on Elle, and it is very clear to you that she is gone. And she is smiling in her final moments. Almost a rictus smile, but a grin nonetheless. Sarah, we won't go into too much gory or gruesome detail, but you remain with that dog for its last moments, consoling it as best you can.
I do tell it that it did a good job protecting its person. And then, yeah, as soon as she hears the gunshot, she's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And Leah, I'm assuming you're not expecting this. You probably jump at this sudden gunshot, even after all of this is over. And you see smoke from Adrian's barrel. You see Bear standing there, almost faded into himself, and you see Adrian shaking.
Doug, do you feel like Bear is like still in like predator mode, or is he like coming down?
I was picturing him reaching into the corner where the knife had been flung to and picking it up and standing up and just looking straight at Adrian before suddenly realizing where he is and what he's been doing and dropping the knife.
Yeah, you don't sense that same smell coming off of Adrian, Bear, and so that prey drive has subsided. And you don't recognize him or see him as a threat. You drop the knife. Adrian, what do you do next?
What the fuck is wrong with you? What did you do?
You missed.
Sarah, you come into the middle of all of this.
Does Adrian still have his gun pointed at Bear?
Yes, but he's like, the adrenaline and the energy drink, all that stuff is just sort of like washed out of him now, and he is just sort of like shaking and clearly terrified of Bear at this moment.
I think Bear's just going to step forward and grab the barrel of the gun and clear it so it's no longer pointing at him.
Do you resist Bear taking the gun?
I think that he recognizes that Bear is sort of like back to his senses and not trying to attack him. And I also think that like he's so sort of like drained at this moment that he just sort of like limply lets him.
Bear, you eject the magazine, you rack the slide, you eject the round in the chamber, clearing the weapon.
Hand it back to him.
Does Sarah say anything?
Yeah, what the fuck was that? She's looking at like Adrian because she wants to know why the gun was shot. Obviously Bear has like his mouth is covered in blood, so something has happened, but she's wondering why the hell they're shooting at each other.
He bit me. It was just a reaction.
Sarah, look. And he'll sort of like point the empty gun down towards the floor where Elle's body is.
She is still keeping her eyes on Adrian. He just shot at another team member. Can I do a human check? She's trying to like figure out, has he lost it? Like, is he a bigger liability than he is a help at this point?
Yeah, go ahead and make a human roll. Yeah, with a 46 out of 87. Adrian, what do you think Sarah sees and perceives? And it should be indicative towards the truth.
Absolute terror in his eyes. He's like trembling and shaking and pointing the gun barrel towards where Elle's body is on the floor.
She sticks her hand out. Give me the gun.
He doesn't bite.
Go sit out in the hall and wait. Take a deep breath. Pull it together.
No, you don't understand. He did that to her.
I know. We will deal with it. Right now, I need you to go sit. We're not going to solve this by killing each other. Go sit in the hallway. Take a breath. Take a beat. Get it together.
He doesn't fight anymore, but I think there's that moment where, as he steps out, he sees the two dead dogs. And he looks down the hall and sees that like people are maybe like cowering or have even cleared out. And he just sort of slides down and sits next to the schnauzer that he'd killed and just breaks down.
Due to the sheer brutality and violence of this encounter, everyone loses 1 sanity.
That puts me at my breaking point.
So having reached your breaking point, Bear, go ahead and reset your breaking point to your current sanity minus your power.
Right.
And you will have obtained the disorder, which will manifest later.
All right.
Now, with the sounds of sirens beginning to ring throughout the facility as law enforcement no doubt approaches, and Dr. Caulfield breaks through the doorway and to see this miasma of brutal violence in front of him, asking, begging to know what happened, we will bring tonight's session to a close. Thank you for listening to Delta Green, God's Teeth, part of the Black Project Gaming podcast. If you like what you heard, please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or a comment on YouTube. Be sure to visit blackprojectgaming.com for previous and future Delta Green episodes. If you'd like updates on all future releases, please follow us on Blue Sky or Facebook. Until next time, I'm Vince, your host and handler, with Cami as FBI Special Agent Sarah Hart, Doug as Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Gerrald Bear Swenson, Jack as Special Agent Adrian Selivanov with the FBI's Computer Analysis Response Team, and Sonia as Dr. Leah Caron with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Thank you again, and remember, we'll be seeing you.